Hola, hola, esto es Agrimundo TV Podcast con Will Caban.
Welcome, everybody, to our second season, second episode 2002. Today we have with us Dr. Bhaskar Savani, someone who we have known of each other going back to the early 2000s and has a wonderful story to tell in the mango industry, and he's done so many things. If you had looked at his life up until 2023, it was nothing but a beautiful dream. Unfortunately, there's been a reversal of fortunes, but Bhaskar, we open the floor to you and look forward to our conversation.
Thank you, Will and Norma. Thank you for your kind introduction, Will. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about mango. We are very passionate about mango. My name is Dr. Bhaskar Savani, and a lot of people call me as a Dr. B. I have been a passionate mango lover and farmer at heart since my childhood. While I lived in the United States for more than 35 years, I have practiced dentistry for most of my professional life. My roots are in agriculture. Before earning my dental degree in the United States, I completed 3 degrees in chemistry. So many ways I consider myself as a chemist by education, a dentist by profession, and a farmer at heart. Over past 30 years, I was blessed to help build our family-owned dental organization into a network of 76 offices across 6 states. Our mission was always to serve the communities with limited access to the quality dental care, and it was an honor to care for countless patients while helping create employment opportunity for more than 2,500 individuals. In the interest of complete transparency, I want to share that I am currently involved in ongoing legal proceedings related to my former dental organization. I maintain my innocence, and my legal team is actively pursuing the matter through the appeal process. I also wanted to make sure and it clear that Savani Farms is an entirely separate business. Through Savani Farms, my mission is to bring premium Indian mangoes to America and support very small farmers. And we celebrate the India's extraordinary agriculture heritage and share the joy of what is proudly known as the king of fruits. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope this podcast inspires a deeper appreciation for mangoes, farming, science, and the remarkable stories behind one of the world's most beloved fruit, the king of the mango, right? And I also thank Will and his team to give me this opportunity to talk about mango. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Bhaskar, for that informative intro. And this is a story that I've wanted to tell for ever since we met. You've developed an amazing model. But before we go through the steps of the IMO and IPO supply chain model, each of the chains in the supply chain, I'd like to go back to the genesis. Who's Bhaskar, and where was he when he was born? Did you live in, I forgive my pronunciation, but is it Gujarat? Where you grew up? Did you grow up did your family have mango farms? Or tell us about your dad and who was he?
Yeah, I come from farming family from India, state called Gujarat. It's the most western part of the India. If you look at the map, it is on a southern western part of the Gujarat. My little farm, my grandfather had an agriculture farm. So I grew up basically under the mango tree. You can say that.
Fantastic.
And mango has always been more than a fruit for me and my family and over 1 billion people, 1.4 billion people of India. So mango in India, we celebrate mango like no any other fruits. And we also call it fruit of gods. So we are spiritually connected with mango in many ways. And that is where I have grown up. And most of my time I spent in agriculture area while I was studying. And then I moved to Malaysia, and then I came to America. And that is my little journey from there to here.
Fantastic. You know, no other culture in the world has the relationship, and you've touched on it, than India with the mango. And whether it's folklore about the princess being pursued and she hides inside of a mango, and a wedding or celebrations, the wreath of mango leaves. And these are things that you have to have at any important event in your life if you're from India. And what you've done to get a better tasting fruit, and we've discussed this because until we can establish fruit fly free zones and grow the cultivars that people are trying to grow, that won't be affected. But the best phytosanitary treatment is what they used to call irradiation. Now it's moved on to ionization, and it's now electronic as opposed to cobalt 60. But as we go through the supply chain, tell me about the work you do with the local farmers. And Savani Farms is more than just one farm, is it?
Yeah, we have a couple of farms. And we basically, my father, who lived in America, also moved back to India. He was a teacher, he was a farmer, and he always had a dream to have the mango introduced in America. And one day he was caught at the JFK, not knowing that mango was banned here in America. And it was very innocently, he bought the mango because he connected with mango, and this is very true. Early 2000, when my father came from India to bring mangoes for the family, he was not allowed to bring it because it was banned. At the airport, he was told to throw the mango. And I've been waiting outside of JFK for my father for a few hours, and he's not coming out, and they don't let me go in. I thought my father had some immigration issue, but the mango had an immigration issue, not my father. Later I discovered when my father came out of 3 hours later, he was mangoes on his skirts, and my mother.
I love this story. Yes.
And I said, "What happened, Father?" He says, Bhaskar, I didn't know the mango was banned in this country. I thought mango, they will allow mango. So I was told to throw that out. So I said, instead of wasting the mango, me and your mom sat next to the garbage bin, and we were eating mangoes, ripe mangoes. He said, I see some mangoes were ripe, and that we start eating it with the hand, and all the juice. And then he came out and he says, Bhaskar, can you research it? Why there is a ban? Why there is a ban of Indian mango? And then I went to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. to understand what kind of bill was passed and about the banning the Indian mango. And it was part of the South American growers lobby also, and also a phytosanitary issue. So there was a combination of the factor. So I have researched what can be available, and you said it correctly, ionizations or the gamma radiations was the option. And then somewhere in 2002, I believe 2001 or 2, I was reading an article by WHO, World Health Organization, and they allowed less than 1 kilogram of the dose to mitigate the pest risk assessment. So here I thought, okay, India being a nuclear country and having a gamma radiation facility for farmers for the onion sprouting problems, I approached them and I started connecting all the dots. And it's also become political a little bit, because what happened when Indian Prime Minister was supposed to visit America, and I went to his agriculture office and I said, for 3 million diaspora of Indian living in America, there can be a good mango ambassador for American people. And I wanted to give true mango to the American people. I wanted to carve the mango in American people's heart. And I said, this is the right mango. Indian mango is the right mango to do so. Hot water treated mangoes were tasting horrible, like potatoes. And we all experienced that. Then I started visiting Florida. Then I started going to the mango festival. Then I started communicating with the growers of South America. And I said that, yes, you believe in certain cultivar like Tommy Atkins or Keat or Kent, but here is the father of the mango, Alfonso. I have the mango called Quesa. And I started introducing those cultivars. And I was telling people that cold pasteurization is called gamma radiation. I call
Yes.
it cold pasteurization.
Yes.
FDA wanted to label that, but it's a very easy process. It's not that difficult to really get rid of. If there's any pest, can be sterile, and it will not create any harm to the American agriculture. So I was really interested in bringing that mango through that route, and I become the one of the first one to bring that mango from India through the irradiation process, gamma radiation, and it does not alter the taste. It doesn't taste like potato. And when I was talking to a lot of growers and I visited those pack houses, I says, "Tell me honestly, would you like to take the hot water treated mango in your home and give it to your children, your family, or yourself?" And the answer is no. We do not eat hot water treated mango. It doesn't taste good. We have to do it because it's a USDA rules, and we have to do that for that reason. But so that is the little journey of my mangoes to bringing to America through the gamma radiation. And Savani Farm, my father's farm, always had a charitable cause in the mind that how can you connect small farmers of India to the mainstream market of United States? So therefore, I started called Mission Mango, from Indian farm to American fork. And in this journey, I met amazing people like you and others.
Thank you.
It really, really helped me to educate myself, like you said, is from supply to the logistic to the processings, and the marketing. I was very much learning how the American consumer mindset is, right? And how to reach American people's heart by giving one of the best mango, and how to use our Indian diaspora, which is about 5 million now, and they can be an ambassador to their friends, families, co-workers. In India, giving mango is the biggest tradition. It's like you wishing a goodwill, you wishing a fruitful life. So mango is more than a fruit; is a symbol, and Will, you know that, and we all know that. Bananas and berries does not bring smile on our face,
No.
but mango does.
And your model is so incredible, and I just don't understand how I've been in the business for 40 years. No one has thought up what you did, and just touching briefly on the irradiation, which opened the door. When someone hot water treats a mango, which the process has never been, there's no way to perfect it because it's flawed from the beginning. So you have to pick a fruit so green that it can survive the stewing and comes out of it with zero nutritional value. As opposed to irradiation, which we started beating the drum for back in 2000 at our first mango conference, you pick a fruit that's tree ripened, you cold pasteurization as opposed to heating up the fruit, and there are just so many benefits. And then there's shelf life extension, which people don't even consider. In our interview with Dr. Suresh Pillai from Texas A&M, they have one of the facilities here in the United States, and he's a consultant around the world on food safety and irradiation. He threw out some data that's just amazing. He talked about multiple months of extended shelf life. So there's just so many things for the process until we can get to a fruit fly free, zone, which I'm sure we'll get to someday. But your model that you created with Savani Farms is very, very interesting because the consumer goes online and you have a unique relationship with the end user. So you truly are farm gate to the dinner plate.
Exactly.
And not just dinner because people eat mangoes all day long, but you live that philosophy. And can you walk us through it? Because I just think it's so incredible. You know who the consumer is, and take us through how that mango goes through the irradiation, gets on a plane, and comes to the States.
Yeah, so the whole process, you said that I visited Texas A&M, I visited Dr. Suresh Pillai, and I have visited a number of people who are very knowledgeable in the irradiation process, and you said it correctly. It increases the shelf life. Another benefit which I have seen it, once, after the irradiation, cold pasteurization, the mango ripening becomes very even. The enzyme, you don't really kill the enzyme, and those enzymes are very pure. And the process of what a lot of my customers and people have said that, Master, the mango tastes really better than even naturally ripen after this, because what is it? Is a ripening process streamlined after the irradiation? And I say yes, there is a better ripening happening all across the fruit. Sometimes, in some varieties, we see the fruit ripens on the top 2/3 and the bottom 1/3 is not ripened equally. That leaves a little bit more starchy flavor. But after irradiation, I have seen it amazing result in terms of even ripening. So definitely, you're right on shelf life and even ripening. So what happens in India, we had to work through a lot of processes. Of course, the gamma radiation facility was one of the bottleneck because it's not everywhere. So we worked with the Indian government. I lobbied the Indian government to put more gamma radiation facility close to the farming area or close to the shipping zone, like one in Mumbai, which is Bombay, used to be called Bombay.
Right.
And there's one another in the same mango region called Lasalgaon. That was the first one. Then Gujarat, now we have a gamma radiation facility. We have South India, we have gamma radiation facility in Bangalore, and more facilities are coming. Another bottleneck is transportation. We fly these mangoes in a commercial airline because we are distributing mangoes everywhere in Chicago, in Houston, in Phoenix, Arizona. So any international airport which has a connectivity via Europe, so we do that. So technically, we are using this right now, passenger air cargo, and that is the main form of transportation. Hopefully, one day we will be having the dedicated cargo planes. That is what we are thinking.
Savani Airlines.
I don't know about that, but
you're the next Kingfisher.
you know Kingfisher. You traveled probably in Kingfisher. Kingfisher is a great beer brand in India, and the guy was visionary who lives in London now. But the guy who have done this, maybe there's a mango airline. We don't know yet.
There was one in South Africa.
Yeah,
it was an orange plane and it had the mango logo on it. I think they went out of business. They needed you to keep them in business, Bhaskar.
I know. Maybe that's possible because another thing, since you talk about South Africa and African country, they are growing Indian cultivars. Can you believe that? They are growing Indian cultivars, and they are also looking at the market in Europe, America, and giving back to India in a southern hemisphere, because when in India we have winter, they have the summer here. Same thing like Lima, Peru, So the process from farm, we have to educate those farmers. Small farmers needed good education. So we work with the pack house and directly with the farmers through the agronomist to make sure the post-harvesting is done properly, the ripening and the collection of mangoes and make sure that it doesn't get pressed in any way or shape. So very handled carefully. We also distribute those, carrots for to carry those mangoes, because small farmer may not have a financial ability to buy even those packaging. So we provide that. We bring that mangoes to the packing facility. So let's say in the night time we usually do the harvesting in the evening, afternoon, and by the night it travels to the for that night it will travel to the pack house. Next day processing is done in a pack house, grading, sorting, examinations, washing mangoes, and packing in the boxes and going in at the cold room. And that packaging house will take another day to process that mango, right? And then from there it goes to gamma radiation, and we have a slot in a gamma radiation facility, and it goes to gamma radiation process. Then it goes to, after that, the USDA inspectors basically sitting there inspecting everything, giving the certificates, make sure that all processes has been maintained, and then it goes to the airport where airline will deliver. We try to get the direct flights most likely, but not every flight is direct flight. So
Are there nonstop flights into your home state?
yeah, so in my home state we don't, but in Mumbai, in my
Okay.
home state, they have a direct flight. At Delhi also they have direct flight to Chicago, Newark, JFK. So there are a number of direct flights. We are utilizing it, well, another thing is not every airline would like to carry the perishable.
Right.
So that's a limitation, but we are trying to educate them. And this is a season where people are crazy. They're looking for mangoes.
Yes.
Since 2007, we open up the market. People are crazy. People says that they look for mangoes. Like in India, over 1 billion people. You know what they look for? Good monsoon and good
Right.
mango season.
Right. And the other point you touched on, the diaspora. If you look at the profile of consumers, the Indian consumer in the United States is either from the tech industry, medical industry like yourself, successful people where price is no object compared to different, demographic sectors where they're either looking for very cheap fruit, and if there's a scarcity, they just won't buy it. But you have a beautiful captive base, and the Indian government was recently involved in, started with the consul general in Las Vegas, and they went to Costco and they had in-store demonstrations, and the mangoes from India sold out within 5 hours, and the prices were $50 to $60 a case. Where the market right now, you go into a Costco, you get a box of mangoes for $10, and that's really pushing the outer limits, a 2 kilo pack. So, but there's just such a wonderful, and it speaks to the flavor profile that once people taste a fruit that's been tree ripened, and especially King Alfonso and Queen Kesar, they've tasted the mango royalty. So I think you've got so many boxes to check. So we've hit the supply side of it. The fruit comes off the tree, it gets to your packing shed. You have a local gamma ray facility there in your home state, and there you have to transport. What do? Put like a screen mesh over the boxes? Does it go into a certain containerization? Because the big fear is reinfestation. So you've got to isolate the fruit that's been treated, and it leaves with an APHIS PPQ form 203 that could either be hot water or irradiated. And so then it needs to get to Mumbai to make it to the U.S., right?
Yeah, usually once it leaves the agriculture zone, there's no any reinfestation. Very rare you see that. Like a lot of humans, they're coming, right? They have open door when they enter into the plane, right? So you don't see that much in.
So it's not a concern then. It's not an issue.
USDA want us to really. We transport the mango into the reefer container.
Okay.
Once they seal the container, you cannot open it up.
There you go. Yeah.
and that gets only open under the certain cargo area of the defined space by
So
the airline.
clarify something for me. You talked about air, but you're talking about a reefer container. Do they ship by sea
No, no,
or
no. Refrigerated
so
container.
is it like an LD7 or an LD3 that fits into the belly of the hold of the plane?
Yeah, correct,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Very
also we
good.
have pallet. Pallet will give you at least about
Yes.
3,000
It's
feet.
an aluminum pallet. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so bigger quantity, we pretty much use that. And you
Interesting.
earlier also touched about Costco, and Costco was a great success. And I
Right.
think that will really help to bring mangoes in a cargo load nowadays instead of the passenger plane.
Right.
And that was a great success. And like you say, for Indian diaspora, yes, they are well-to-do, they're engineers, they're doctors, they are high-tech companies and they are the ambassadors for eating a fruit, mango fruit, believe me or not. Even the Indian who works in let's say in a gas station, for example, they will have to have a fruit in their home as a family because it's it's kind of a spiritual treat. Every Indian has a story about mango, how they grew up under the mango tree,
Yep.
how they steal the neighbor's mangoes, how they used to throw the stone and bring the mango down. They use the raw
That's
mango,
true.
and people. What I'm selling to Indians are not the fruit. I'm selling their memories.
The
I'm selling
passion.
the
Yes.
passion, the
Yeah.
aroma
Right.
of the motherland. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
this is a different marketing approach, and only Indian mango will do that. One day, I think
Yes.
South America will learn that. I
Yes.
guarantee you. Nobody knew Kesar until I bring the Kesar here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I
So
call Queen Mango. By
so
the way.
we've gotten from the field. So basically, you're packing fruit that already has a home. It already has a destination. Is
Correct.
that correct?
Correct.
So Mrs. Jones in Iowa has ordered her box of Kesar from SavaniFarms.com, which is your website where
Correct.
people need to go and visit and learn about all the fascinating things you're doing because we still have a lot of steps, which I think that's why I think this story is so interesting. Is that you've touched on our first chain. Our second chain is transportation, and of course, the technology and innovation, which is our fourth chain, is the irradiation, the gamma ray, and the innovation, what you all have done through bringing the whole distribution and bypassing the middleman. So when someone goes into a supermarket, you never know what happened to your mango. You never know if Mrs. Jones liked it or she didn't, or Mr. Smith, had an opinion. But you have direct feedback from your customers. You know where they are. You can send them a birthday card or a free mango on their birthday. And I just think it's so amazing that the data that you handle, your model, it blows my mind that no one has thought of it until Bhaskar Savani came along, and it's just amazing. So, yeah, as we go through the process. Now, going back to the groves, tell us about the cats.
Oh, so that is one of the very beautiful subject you are asking me to talk about. India is the home of the Asiatic lions. Lions exist on this planet Earth, two places: one Africa, second India. Lion used to
Interesting.
roam around the whole India
Uh-huh.
and all the way to the Middle Eastern states, Middle Eastern countries. It was shrink, shrink, shrink. The population was less than 100. And it was in a place called Gir, where I come from, Gir National Forest. There are a lot of National Geographic film on it, So the conservation efforts. So I wanted to use the mango tree as a corridor project, and I did. I educated a lot of farmers to put more mango trees, and we're going to create the market. And I call it, there's two kings living in my state: king of the fruit and king of the fruit. There's a mango and king of the jungle. And this creating a habitat through the mango was another my vision. Because when I was in India, when I was in college, I also worked for a WWF, World Wildlife Fund, not the wrestling organization, and conservation of whole food chain was very important. And the top predators, like top cats, like leopards or lions or tigers, these are also in the mango zone, and we wanted to make sure that they have a peaceful way to live their life and reproduce themselves. And if we give them a green belt, which using a native tree, mango is a native tree of India. That is one of the best things you can ever do. And you maintain the whole food chain. It's not just a lion, the grazing animals and everything, flora and fauna, together. And we did experiments. We created a riverside, some belt, millions of tree plantation, and you can see that lion population from 48 all the way to almost 891, which is almost 900 officially. Yeah, and so it created a new territories for the lion. It created the whole food chain, migration. And I'm very proud to say that mango has done that for India, especially in the Gujarat region where we come from. And some of the tiger reserve also, they have the mango trees in northern part of India,
It's probably as if South America, and I think India's even bigger than South America, but as if that was one country. So you watch the seasonality of it. Now, does the Indian season start down where you are in the southern part, or does it go north to south?
It goes from southern to north.
Okay,
So
okay.
Kerala,
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu, they have a different mango. They start coming even late February.
Okay.
And the season goes up to the March Alfonso region, which is Maharashtra. And then it comes to the Kesar, June
Right.
and May and June, and then it goes to north. It's a northern part of India called Uttar Pradesh, which is a lot of mango trees, and it goes to east side where the original mango trees were originated. They said that northeast part of India and their subcontinent, East Asia.
Were you part of the International Society for Horticultural Science with Dr. Victor Galan when they came to Lucknow? I wished I could have made that journey. It must have been fascinating. Do you remember when that took
Yes,
place?
I do remember, and I know Victor Galan, and I've been to those international horticulture societies, those mango events, especially
Symposiums. Yes.
mango symposium in China, in Africa, South Africa, in India. I've been to those, and I have traveled even on Australia too. So it's a very educative and very informative to understand how different parts of the world they have their own favorite fruit, especially the mango variety.
Right. When investigating the Ataulfo mango from Mexico, I learned that India is the headquarters for the intellectual property or the geographic indicator of a mango. So it's like the patent. No one can change a name or steal a cultivar or misappropriate it. And are you familiar with that organization?
In my area, we have a GI tag in Kesar. It's called Gir Kesar, GIR Kesar. So we keep the name Kesar,
Sure.
We can say queen or king, we can give the title.
Right.
But we have to keep the original name, and we've been doing that because people wants to connect, understand the history of that geographical area. And this is very important things which you have touched base. Kesar, if you try to grow in South America, which I've tried in many countries, including in Piura, I have a graft there, and Alfonso and Kesar, it doesn't taste 100%.
Yeah.
Where it came from so the God has created a microclimatic zone.
Yes.
That microclimatic zone is so important that certain strawberry is grown in certain area is much better, certain
Right.
France is much better, you know. Same
It,
thing.
it's all the terroir, the
Yeah,
soil that
soil.
the French call with their champagne, or whether it's Pinot Noir or Bordeaux. And I think that's really parallel in the mango world. And we hope that the consumer, we can educate them enough where they will understand that, have that appreciation of the mango, because what you're saying is completely true and important. One time in a conversation with the director of Global Gap, I asked him a simple question. Irradiation is everywhere. That's the joke of the whole thing. People are afraid of irradiation, but when you get in bed with your partner or sleep with somebody, there's irradiation that an exchange that takes place. And the soil itself,
Yeah.
and he explained to me, and this is one of my pet projects, is to be able to pinpoint the tree that the fruit came from, and to do an assay like you do with blood or metals. It's got copper, it's got this, and be able to say this fruit came from this tree in this orchard. And he said, of course, and the way to do it is with irradiation. They're markers in the soil.
Exactly.
And yeah, yeah.
You touched a very important point, that the mango, the micronutrition, you get it from the soil. It's not just the soil, it's a combination of the temperature. In my area, the temperature for 1 month is 45 degrees centigrade, is 100 and almost 120 degree Fahrenheit, So the enzyme, which converts, the starch into all fruits are starchy fruit, right? And converts into fructose or sucrose. And that conversion process and the enzyme which brings the flavor based on the micronutrients, boron, magnesium, selenium, all these things are there in the soil condition. And that particular enzyme will work with that kind of micronutrition. Not every enzyme will work with that, and that is a fruit dependent too, and the temperature dependent. So that microclimatic is truly a miracle of God.
Yes.
For the fruits, and this is amazing.
And we are seeing around the world the phenom of people who don't take care of the soil. And when that happens, your fruit doesn't perform. So the floration drops. Right this season, there have been groves with zero floration, zero fruit in the end, and then some have had 30%. Mexico overall, the Oaxaca region. And what I find is interesting between Mexico and India is your seasons are parallel. You both start in February and you end up around September, August, which I'd never really thought about it, but looking into it over the years, it dawned on me suddenly that you have those parallels. So the southern part of Mexico, which has historically high humidity, rainfall, etc., and is hasn't been farmed as long, the trees were performing this year. So the polyembryonic variety, which the Ataulfo is the grandson of the Carabao from the Philippines, have outperformed the monoembryonic, which were the Florida breeds, the Tommies, the Haydens, the Kents, the Keats. And until we have to go back to save, we have to use technology, and I put that in quotes because it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. Close to 100,000 years ago in the Amazon, they used biochar. They learned to get the carbon into the soil and to create, because the Amazon we see today is not the Amazon that existed 100,000 years ago. It was barren land. Nothing could grow in that red soil until the indigenous people began to incorporate biochar. And now you see these trees that you think were there all along. And we have to get back to soil regeneration and the new agriculture 4.0. And until we do that, we're just, it's a demise, and it's taken place all over the world. Tell us about your season in India. You've had hot weather, haven't you? And it's impacted the crop?
Yeah, so crop gets impacted. Even in India now they talk about La Nino and El Nino, and all changes in the weather pattern. They have been talking about it, and we see so much rain or so little rain, so much dry, and so much humid in certain areas. So it does affect the fruit and fruit quality and fruit setting. So this year we had some loss of fruit, and but we still manage it. And like you said, that this is very important things. I want to bring it to all our viewers and here your viewers. I was in Peru. I have notes somewhere. There was a gentleman, and he swear that his production in Peru, in close to Piura, his production was not 20 tons. He was swearing it's 40 tons. And I said, how do you do that? He says, I use Indian Vedic agriculture system based on the all the horoscope and all this astrology, chanting the vibrations of certain mantra. And I go in his farm, morning sun rays in the center of the farm, which he is burning. He is burning the those cow dung.
Yeah.
And he's creating that energy, which basically, and around his farm, there's a copper coins, which is conducting those energy in the morning, at the sunrise and sunset, 8 hours chanting that mantra. And
Wow.
it has a vibrations and amazing things. In India, they used to call Rishi Krishi. Krishi means agriculture. Rishi means the saints. They have developed the system for each crop, how to manage that crop with, how to have a disease resistance crop. And that is marvelous. We lost that knowledge. I think we need to revive that back.
Yes. Yes. And one of my rallying cries in Spanish and in English is we need to put the culture back into the word agriculture. And we need to bring our next generations. The first interview was with Sergio Cedeño Amador in Ecuador, and he was just commenting a week ago that his mission in life, he's in his 70s now, is to educate the children. They don't even know what kind of bird lands here. They live in the cement jungles now. And we have to make a special effort to get that story out there.
Amazing. You touched the same thing, my mission Mango. We have one area where my father and my mother charitable foundation, whatever they earn from the mango, they give back to the community, especially the rural community. Educating, environmental education, so important for the children. They usually have a geography and social subject, but not to talk much about environment in Indian. They used to be, but the modern, books has eliminated a lot of things, and they are focused on science and technology and everything, but environmental education is very important. Like you said, putting culture back into the soil, right, in the agriculture, that the word. It is true. It is very true, and I think we are doing it in a small scale, and I hope to do it even more, in India and other parts of the world.
Fantastic. I love to say that the best therapy in the world is soil underneath your fingernails. If you get your hands in the soil, you're connected. You're connected to God, and people don't understand that. We could do so much good for people by getting them back to being farmers again. And India has such a wonderful example.
We came from soil, and we're going to dissolve ourselves into the soil.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
That ancient philosophy of India we believe in, and we still 60% people living in agriculture as of today.
Yes.
And I think the new generation, the young generation here, I think they are slowly getting back to that. So I hope that reversal will occur, and we can have enough fruits and supplies and supply chain we can maintain in a proper way, and it should be everybody's mission, is not just our mission. But mango brings that knowledge. Mango brings that connectivity between people, and that is what I have noticed, that when you give them a right mango. And this is very important to your listener, that what is the difference between Indian mango and American, South American mango? Okay, if we call it engineered mango or whatever we call it, I have a love for every mango. But I can tell you one thing: the aroma, the sweetness. The Indian mango, you try one, you don't stop eating. I have my own daughters too. They're born here in America.
Uh-huh.
They said, Daddy, we go to the Ginardi or any shopping center in Wegmans, or
Uh-huh.
we take only one or two mangoes. And I see when you bring your mango, people buy the box of mango. I said, yeah, they
Uh-huh.
don't stop eating mangoes.
Right, right.
They don't stop eating mangoes.
Because you're tasting the soil. You're tasting with the Alphonse. It's in its home. What you're eating is where it originated. Whereas the fruit breeders in Florida, unfortunately, I've always said it's unfortunate because the climatic conditions in Florida were never ideal for the Moldova mango. They were made for a carabao that grows, carabao being the water buffalo that can stand in the water. And I've tried to make it a mission to tell the people plant the proper cultivar, and we need to do that here closer to home. And even here in the Coachella Valley in California, where we have more of a desert climate, similar, the monoembryonic love, they're sensitive to the humidity. They love the drier weather, and we should be planting the Alphonse and the Kesars. We certainly have a diaspora that would buy it, and I hope people are listening and want to take a page, out of your book. I think we've touched the entire supply chain, your social responsibility work and the certification, which is our last chapter. The innovation goes back to several things, but the gamma ray is part of that, and then the marketing. Your model is just amazing. The story you can tell to people, and the social responsibility with what you're doing with your community and saving the cats, and you have such a wonderful story, Bhaskar, because you've done it all. You were with the World Wildlife Foundation. You saw some amazing models that are very successful around the world, and I admire your biology, your chemistry background, because that's really the foundation of everything. And then the work you've done and helping people and your integration, and then the groves. We look forward to speaking with you again, Bhaskar. It's been a genuine pleasure. I'm glad we've been able to penetrate more, share our common love and knowledge. And we look forward to reaching out to you again.
And thank you, Will. And one more thing I wanted to say before closing: let's work hard to carve the mangoes in American people's heart. Northern Hemisphere people doesn't know tropical fruit much. And I think we have a mission to really give them the best of the best. And my mission is to really, every American should look for the mango season. Every American, not just Indian. So, we assimilated here in this culture. We've been living here for 35, 40 years. We like to connect the world. And I think mango is really connection between the many mango growers, not just India. And I think, if we bring the mango we call the mango by their name, not just a red, green, or just a yellow mango, but we should really, like you gave an example of the what do you call the champagne and all different Malbec,
Yes.
Argentina, and so similarly we call apple with their name. We should really focus on the name of the mango and let the people ask for that, let people create that demand for that cultivar. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
One last question. So, in India, there's a wonderful, and it also happens in Pakistan, and it just shows you how important the mango. And we've discussed this, but they have festivals, and your festivals are amazing. Now, are they called Mela? Mele?
Mela.
Mela. The Melas. Tell us about the Mela. I mean, every region when it comes out, It's amazing the quantity of cultivars and the abundance of the mangoes, and I guess that's part of the celebration, isn't
The
it?
community takes so much pride in their produce. We have seen that, as I told you, 60% people living in the agriculture area. The Mela, they call MELA, Mela. Mela is connecting the community, bringing you the best of the best. In ancient time, there were so many kingdoms in India, and the king of every region will create that Mela. And the Mela brings the produce, and different season, different Melas with the different produce. And that's where you celebrate the earth. That's where you celebrate the connectivity with the soil. And it's an amazing experience, and people should experience those melas.
I think we need to do that here in North America.
Yes, exactly.
How do you feel about that?
I would love to do melas. We tried to do mela in Miami Mango
Yeah.
Festival. We need to do more. You're right. You're right.
Right. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Bhaskar. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we wish you all the best and look forward to talking to you again.
Very good. Thank you, Norma, and thank you, Will. You are bringing amazing things to the people. Keep it doing. Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Savani. Congratulations. Your story is very interesting and demonstrates a great work.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma.
We learn a lot by listening to you. But I have a question. Please
Yeah.
tell me, why do you say Will is the Donald Trump of mangoes?
Oh, we call him Donald Trump. Donald Trump once get in.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I'm a contrarian. If everybody says this, my favorite picture is there's one guy standing around 1,000 people and he says, "You're all wrong."
Yes.
And that's me.
And why he is, because let me tell you, I have seen in Will the courage to tell the truth. And that is very important. People like it or not, but Will stands for the truth and always tell the truth. And he brings the mango. He was the one who really said, hot water treatment is you're killing everything.
Garbage. Garbage.
Right?
And we invested $1 million in 1990 to build the first hot water shed in Buda. So it's not like I haven't put my money where my mouth is. We've learned the hard way. And here's another interesting thing, Bhaskar, and research for our event in Puerto Rico. Do you realize that EMEX, the Mexican Exporters Association, they should call it the Mexican Hot Water Mango Association? Because I'm going to tell you this. They took a technology from Hawaii that Calavo growers had used for papaya. And it didn't even work, and Calavo was out of it by the mid 2000, call it 2006. They threw their hands up and they went. Actually, it was earlier than that. They
Right.
started earlier with the hot water treatment because Hawaii Pride is owned by Calavo Growers, which now is owned by Mission, and they abandoned the hot water treatment for their papaya. They realized it was a loser. And the sad part is that there were people, the original people that fought for the hot water treatment at the same time that I was able to get a 2-year extension for the use of ethylene dibromide and keep the market open. And that's when Peru and Brazil came in. That was 1985. And so we got the extension. But it's such a shame. And the point I'm trying to make is that everybody went with this horrible technology. And here we are 40 years later, and they're making the same mistake over and over. They still burn the fruit. It still tastes awful. And when I was doing research for the event in Puerto Rico, in 1986, there was a proof of concept in Puerto Rico. They sent 4 tons, 4,000 kilos of mango from Puerto Rico to South Florida. There was no resistance. The fruit sold out within a week or two.
Okay.
And the sad part is that the proof of concept didn't include the growers. So the Gamma facility just went out and bought 4 tons of fruit. They ran it through. They found a marketer in South Florida, and those people are still alive. Can you imagine where the technology would be today? We'd be on the iPhone 25, right? I mean, we wouldn't have had to suffer this horrible experience from the hot water, and I don't want to beat it up enough, but I don't know if I can beat it up enough because it's just been such a setback to the industry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think this technology of electron beam, e-beam ionization, I think is going to get better and better, and hopefully we like to see the smaller unit at the farm level, for the phytosanitary measure taken care, and can be affordable to the grower association, right? So that's something we like to see that. But Norma, it's a pisco sour time now. Okay, we'll do the
I
mango.
can't let you go, Bhaskar, but I know I have to. So we look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, I love that. I love to eat the foods. There are 1,000 different dishes of potato, and now I think the same thing we do with the unripened mangoes also in India. So I see a lot of similarities in cooking of potatoes, and also in India people do with mango things too. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate, and we will continue this journey together.
Thank you. We'll be with you every step of the way, Bhaskar. Our best wishes.
Like say, it's a God will, we will continue. A will is
Cheers.
there. All right.